Finally, after months of work and stuff, it's finally done. So I did a couple of these last spring and summer, basically just going over my game collection. And I believe the last one that I did, it was in late July, and I mentioned how I was currently working on turning our basement into a game room. Guys, I did it. Yeah, after months of actual blood and sweat, I cut myself 2 times while working on this place, and I bled from those cuts. And also, I sweated a lot because it's the basement, heat gets trapped down here, and so easy to sweat. But after months, it's finally done. I just got done completely organizing everything, adding the final details, and I gotta say, I really like it. So here we go. This is a look at the entire game room, starting with him. This here is the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I like having him in the back here. Obviously, I film my videos sitting on the couch, so I think it's kind of fun to be able to just see Dwayne in the background. And we got this just little air hockey table. We had this thing in our basement for years, and it wasn't used, and those places, I mean, this is a game room, man cave kind of thing. They always got like a pool table or a pinball machine or air hockey table, and that is precisely what this is. And it's also pretty nice because whenever I am shooting green screen stuff, I usually set up the green screen over here because there's not really any other space down here. And I do have to move the hockey table, but it's not that bad because it is incredibly light. But also, I can use it as a table for props and stuff that I'm using on the green screen. So filming down here, it gets really cramped because I'm using the studio lights over there, and it's just pretty cramped. I moved back the couch so there's like actual space and stuff, but the air hockey table is really nice for when I'm filming with green screen, and I have a very green screen heavy episode coming up really soon, so it's gonna be a lot of fun to film that. Sarcasm, but the air hockey table, it's fun to play air hockey on, and it's also nice to use as a prop table for green screen filming. And we got over here, these are the 2 chairs. This is just patio furniture. Pretty soon this stuff's gonna get moved back outside. I'm gonna have to buy my own couch, but for the winter these things were down here anyways. So these are temporary, and that one's kind of messed up. My dog with big claws likes to sit on this couch, and he cuts it open, which I really hate. It looks pretty ghetto, and I'm aware of it. I hate it. And there's our other dog right there. She's just down here. Then I got the table here. So the chair here. Then we have a little coffee table. Or yeah, no. This is the coffee table. This is kind of like a little side table. I got this puzzle on here that I want to put together, or I want to glue together, and I want to put it on this wall over here. But for the time being, it's just sitting on here. I like this table because I can put like drinks and food here, and other stuff, or my phone here when I'm waiting for stuff to load and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty cool. There's really 3 main sections to look at, so I guess we'll start here with the TV, and I guess we'll start over here on the wall. We got the 2 Link's Awakening sprites that I drew last summer. For some reason last summer I drew a bunch of sprites and put them on my wall, and I moved them down here, and I kind of want to do more. I just don't really have much time or motivation, but that may happen in the future. Then we got my TV. That was my big Christmas gift last year. It's a 43-inch smart TV, and so that means it has all of your media streaming apps built in: YouTube, Netflix. I mean, it basically runs a version of Android. It's got access to the Play Store. You can download some apps on it. It's currently on composite. So I was playing the Wii last night. But yeah, it's got everything built in, which is really nice. I was worried that I was gonna have to get a Roku and have it take up an HDMI port, but no, it comes with everything built in, and 43 inches is really good. I was expecting maybe 32 inches, which I would still be happy with, but I got a 43 inches. This thing is beautiful, looks great, and then I also have some speakers there to enhance the audio. We got a little HDMI cable here. I have this. I keep this here for my laptop, which is actually over there. I can plug it into my TV, and that lets me play emulators on a TV. It's really convenient. Then we have a CRT. This was sitting in our basement for years. It was not being used, and of course, CRTs are good for retro gaming, so I was like, hey, that's mine now. You have the remote right next to it, and then the Wii sensor bar on top, because I like having the Wii sensor bar on top of the TV, because whatever I'm sitting on the couch as I am right now, in order to like change things on the TV, if I ever want to like use the remote, you see it's not working. I have to raise the remote up here, and that would just be a pain for the Wii. So I just moved it down here because it's much more level, it's much more natural. But I do have the Wii plugged into the big boy TV, but I just like having the CRT for the retro stuff, which is down there. And then next to it here we have the power strip, fire hazard. I got the CRT. Basically all the consoles are plugged in to this here, and the TV and speakers are plugged in here. It looks kind of ghetto, but you know, hey, it works. I try to keep it as organized as possible. I have everything that can be turned off. I plug into here, and usually when I leave, I just turn it off to avoid the fire hazard, you know. But this stuff always stays plugged in. But you know, there's a lot of stuff plugged in down here. Fire hazard, especially right next to the electrical closet. Yes, really safe. And also right across from here we got the furnace room. Oh yeah, this basement is a tragedy waiting to happen. And over here we got the Wii and the Xbox 360, and I like having the controllers on top of them because that way, you know, you put in a game and then you grab the controllers and then you play. It's pretty nice. Down here we have a VHS player and a VHS/DVD player. Don't have these plugged in, they're just kind of sitting there for now. Then we get the retro shelf, the Nintendo 64 and the Atari 7800. The Atari 7800, that was my dad's old console, and the Nintendo 64, I bought that with my Christmas money for a video coming soon. It'll be next month, but it was kind of a waste of money, but let's be honest, all video games are. Then you got the Atari 5200. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten this thing plugged in because the power adapter, this is also my dad's, and the power adapter doesn't work. And so I tried other volt ones, but the voltage was too high or too low, I think, and so shame. Then we also got two little cabinets. This first one is just a bin of accessories for Atari computers that I'll show you in a second, and this one just has a bunch of wires and stuff. And it's kind of a mess. We don't really need to look at it. Then we have the video games. Up here I got all my portables, so Game Boy Advance, DS Lite, DSi XL, Switch Lite, 2DS, and PSP. I built all these guys' stands with spare Lego pieces, and I kind of like it because I like how they're all just, you know, sitting up here. And what, do you need another reason? Then of course we got the games, of course, starting with the Xbox 360 games. We got the 4 backwards compatible Xbox One ones. And then, it's mostly the same. I'm trying to think of the new ones. I think I showed BioShock in the last one. Fallout New Vegas. That's one that I recently got. It's great. It's my favorite Bethesda game. Yes, not kidding. Best Fallout, best Bethesda game. It's really good. It's really good. I love it. Then we also got, let's see, what else is new? Oh yeah, Fallout 3. good old Fallout theme going. Yeah. And, it's just the Xbox games. Again, it's largely the same. Oh, and then we also have this. You might be wondering, where's the spine? This is a real product I bought from Vintage Stock. I guess they didn't have the original artwork, so Vintage Stock printed out their own, but it doesn't wrap around the side, and if you look at it closely, it is incredibly pixelated, and I bought it simply because it was $1 and it was in horrendous, it looked horrendous, and unfortunately it didn't work, which I guess that explains why it's $1, because I actually did look it up on Google, and I heard it's a pretty good first-person shooter for the original Xbox, so I'm sure it's worth more than $1. It's just that price because it doesn't work. But I think it's worth owning alone because of how bad the case looks. Then we got the Wii Games. Last time there were only a couple of these actually on the shelf. There was a whole shelf full of Wii games, and I just pulled whatever would fit on my shelf that I wanted. But now that I have all the space in the world, not really, but I have more space, I just grabbed, you know, all my games plus a couple of the games that my sister didn't take. There's really just these 4, Angry Birds and then Carnival and Game Party. If she wants any of these, I am not opposed to it. Alright, she can have them. I really don't care. But since no one took them, I'll give them a home. As for the new Wii games, you got Resident Evil 4. I still gotta play this. And then also Link's Crossbow Training. I've played this, so yeah, let it be known, I've played Link's Crossbow Training. I have not played Resident Evil 4. And you got the rest down here. Then we got the PSP stuff, which is exactly the same. The Switch collection has, of course, had the biggest growth. I think I only showed the 3 games that I got with the system in that first update, so since then I got Breath of the Wild, Lego Marvel on Switch, Paper Mario, 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and Smash Ultimate, so the Switch collection grew by 5 games, and well, obviously there's still a lot more Switch games that I want, but these are all really good games. Kinda regret getting Lego Marvel Superheroes because I didn't really get into it as much as I thought I would, but regardless, yeah, it's a decent enough collection. And we got the Game Boy stuff, and since then, I printed out covers, yes! For the most part, I used the cover project, and I just, you know, printed out the box art and a bunch of old DS cases that had the Game Boy Advance card slot. That was not opening, and this is my bootleg Grand Theft Auto Advance cartridge, but, regardless, I really like having the cases for these games, because it makes them, like, feel much more premium, and, like, I mean, a part of the collection. Like, I mean, I don't really play these, but they just feel a lot more worthy, I guess, and I had to make my own of some of these, like Grand Theft Auto 2, Lego Alpha Team, Gex, and Zelda Collectin'. I kind of sort of made my own Mother 1+2 case. All these I had to make myself because they were not on the cover project, but most of these were, and they all look, you know, pretty nice. Since the last update video, I think the only new Game Boy game that I've gotten is Gex for Game Boy Color, which is kind of a funny one. Look out for a video on this later this year. Fall, late summer, fall. All right, this is not a really soon thing, but it's gonna happen. Trust me. Very specific there, but I also made my own cover for the bootleg Zelda cartridge, Zelda Collectin'. I just put a bunch of the art for the links from these games and some of my own little tagline, playing through 7 games from the Legend of Zelda series. And I included a typo, of course, and I typed up little blurbs for all the games. 7 adventures, 1 cartridge. You know, it's bootleg, but I thought it'd be fun because this actually is a really cool thing. I still really like this cartridge. I've had this thing for almost a year, which is kind of weird to think, but I mean, this thing is honestly really cool. I love this thing. Then we got the rest of the Game Boy Advance and the DS and the 3DS, and all this stuff is the same. I don't know if I included Jedi Outcast on my last collection video, but yeah, I have the PC version, so there it is. Then we got my homemade Amiibo cards and my Switch Pro controller. Let me show you these actually. I'm sitting down right now, don't judge me, but I got a pack of 10 NFC chip stickers, which are the NFC tags that Amiibo use, and using an app, I basically made probably illegal reproductions of Amiibo, and I printed out all these cards and I stuck them on the back of here. So yes, this is a Ocarina of Time Link Amiibo. Yes, this is a Smash Link Amiibo. Yes, this is a Cat Mario Amiibo, which there was no card of, so I just put it on a picture of him. But yeah, no, these are just here's the NFC sticker on it. I printed it out on cardstock, so there's little color pieces. But regardless, yeah, you can just scan them in game. They work like any other Amiibo, and it's really nice. You know, I mean, a lot of these Amiibo are really expensive. I think the Ocarina of Time 8-bit Link, Majora's Mask, and Wolf Link amiibo in total go for like $210. Meanwhile, all of this costed like $9, or technically not even $9, because I have a leftover one in that in here, which I'll show in a second. But yeah, no, I mean, legal. I don't think I've never heard of anyone who's gone to jail because they saved $200 on amiibo. Then this bottom shelf here is all my loose DS cartridges plus 3DS cartridge, and then also little Game Boy cartridge cases. Then we got the most legendary thing ever, the cupboard. What's in here? What's in here? Garbage! On this first layer we have just a bunch of stuff. We have 3 Atari 5200 boxes on the bottom, plus a Star Raiders box because it included a big gold accessory. We have the last NFC sticker in there. My 2 Game Boy Advance game boxes, their manuals, Switch Lite box, Switch Pro controller box, Game Boy Advance charger, plus a bunch of Atari boxes. The second shelf is props for episodes. We got Al Capone's Pepto-Bismol from Bootleg minifigures, the frame from Trauma and Redemption, the beat up Lego Marvel Superheroes from Trauma and Redemption. Then we got Ice Age Continental Drift Arctic Games, what a mouthful. This is just for a future episode. Same with the Mario's Missing on Wii, plus the PSP UMD video. These are for future episodes going pretty soon. And then on the bottom we have the box for the puzzle. We have some old artwork, spare controller, Switch case. It's just a bunch of, you know, random junk. It doesn't really need to be displayed out in the open, but I still like to store down here. And we got the big boy shelf. On top we got my Mother 3 sprite drawings. Still like these things. Got a lamp. Atari 400 and Atari 800 still here, and then we have the plug and plays. So the Namco Star Wars one, and then this one was the one that my dad found. It is a 2600 plug and play. This has a bunch of random 2600 games. Then you got all these portable chargers. Then this shelf is LEGO Dimensions. You have the vehicle tags. Behind that you have the character tags, and then of course the portal. Then you have Lamester, old Game Boy shell, laptop charger, plus a bunch of just random tool stuff. Yeah, spare HDMI cord, spare power cable, bootleg minifigures from the bootleg minifigures episode, and then just a bunch of random other stuff down here, and a trash can. Then we have a Cheez-It box from the Halo Infinite campaign, I guess. And this here is kind of sort of the retro shelf. I guess technically all of this can be considered a retro besides Switch, but this is like the old stuff. Like, I mean, all this stuff, this is, except for the Game Boy stuff, this is post, this is in the 2000s. This is mostly from prior to that. Starting off, we got the Atari 2600 games, including Real Sports Football for the Atari 2600. I bought this game in 2022. I really love myself. Then you get all the 5200 games with no end labels, which is pretty lame. Like, what's this? Star Raiders? No, it was actually Jungle Hunt, you fool. Then you got the actual ones with end labels by Parker Bros. 7800 games. That was a cartridge for the computer. Over here you got all the instruction manuals for the Atari games. The Indiana Jones trilogy on VHS. Really good trilogy, and I really respect their choice to never make a 4th movie, or especially a 5th. Then you got 2 and 64 games. These are generally agreed to be some of the greatest games ever made. So of course you got Super Mario 64, then you got the other one, which you might be thinking is Ocarina of Time, and Madden 64, baby! Taco Bell Cup, GameStop's Black Friday 2021 catalog, and a People of Walmart adult coloring book. This thing's awesome. And that is how you waste a ton of money on video games. So yes, that is a little, I forgot to show these. These are my Wii and Xbox boxes, but there we go. That is a tour of the game room and a game collection up. This is the 3rd game collection update. This is the 1st game room tour, and probably not gonna do these too often because, let's be real here, there's not really too much I can change. The only thing that can really change is I fill up this shelf and I start using this shelf and I locate all this stuff somewhere else, which kind of horrifying. It's not really much room, but I can make things work. This is a lot more space than I had in my room upstairs. It's kind of empty up there now with no Dwayne, no video games. I mean, you know, this was a lot of stuff, and this whole room in general was a lot of work. Again, I cut myself twice. It was really hard to see, but there was a faint line on my finger. It looks like every other little line on my finger, but it was a cut from when binders fell on my hand. And this is no surprise. This line here cut my leg open when I was moving some stuff, so yeah, actual blood and sweat for this game room. No wonder why I'm still alone.